What's up, guys? Dodgers Randy here for your final game recap of the preseason. Let's get into it. We dropped this game 8-4 against the Angels. It's the first game of the Freeway Series. We've got one more tomorrow and then the last one on Tuesday night in LA. It seems like during these games, though, the Angels seem to always have our number. I don't know what it is. I also just don't care because it doesn't count. It'd be nice to beat them every once in a while in these games, but as long as we beat them in the Freeway Series during the regular season, I'm good. So Stripling got the start on the mound today. He only went 3 innings, which I found a little interesting. They did say, though, that they were going to give him, he actually said that they were going to give him 3 or 4 innings and it was up to him. And he felt like he did good enough through 3 innings and got everything done he really wanted to get done. Because remember, he is starting the second game of the season, so I was a little surprised to see him go so short. But he probably feels good. He knows his body better than anyone else. Training staff knows what they're doing, so I'm not worried about it. Just found it a little interesting. He did have a pretty good outing. He had a 1-2-3 in the first inning. He did end up walking someone to lead off the second, and then quickly it turned into a double play. And then that was really it. Or he did give up a single that inning as well. So he did give up 3 hits in the game. 2 of them were doubles. In the third, he gave up 2 doubles, and that allowed them to score 1 run. But other than that, that's all he gave up on the day. So he looked pretty good out there. This was against what would be, I would assume for the most part, the Angels starting lineup. Trout was in there, Calhoun, Bohr, Pujols. So it's all guys that we can expect for him to see, at least caliber-wise, up there. And he looked pretty strong. 2 doubles in the same inning, gets through 3, and like I said, only gave it the 1 run. Not too bad. Dylan Floro came in the 4th inning. He, I feel like, doesn't get enough credit for how good he did for us last year. I like the guy. I think he's really good for us. He came in and kind of filled a hole out of nowhere last year, came out of the bullpen. He, I think, pitched in 29 games, and Joe Davis actually mentioned that he had the 3rd best ERA in the National League. It was like 1.3 or 2, something like that. So I hope to see another big season from him. His spring training was not bad. He only really had, I think, 1 rough game, which I think might have been his last one. But he did struggle a little bit here. He did give up a 2-run home run, but that was to Pujols, so not a big deal. Don't want to see him giving up home runs, obviously. He did give up a walk and 2 hits in that inning, so not the best of outs, but outings for him. But other than that, he did get a line out to second base. That one was to Kike, I believe, and then 2 ground outs at the to end the inning, so not terrible. Hopefully see a little bit better from him. Scott Alexander was on it tonight. That dude came out ready to go. He had a really quick inning, 1-2-3, 1 strikeout, 2 ground outs. Again, he's really known for the ground outs. That's kind of why he's a ground ball pitcher. His strikeout came up against Trout, which is great because they used him a lot last year. I feel like kind of as a, I don't want to say platoon pitcher. That's not the right word, but as a lefty kind of specialist. He did pitch against some righties, but I know it's a big thing for Roberts to switch guys out, so it was nice to see him get success against a right-handed guy, especially someone of Trout's caliber. I don't think he is actually, I guess I shouldn't say that. I guess he's not our true left-handed specialist, but you guys know how that goes with Dave Roberts, so glad to see him get through that easily. Yimmy struggled a little bit when he came in. Remember, he had a really strong spring. He's out of options, so if they decide to send him down, well, they really can't. They can, but they'd have to DFA him first, and if he clears waivers, then they can send him down. I doubt he clears waivers though. He had an incredible spring, really struggled when he got out there tonight. He actually walked and gave up 2 singles to load the bases. However, he did quickly get out of it. He gave up a double play. 1 run did come across, but then he ended it with a strikeout. So that has to be a huge confidence boost for him and the team that he was able to get out of that situation, because I feel like in 2018, anytime he came in and there was someone on base, or even if he loaded the bases, I just felt like they were just kicking him out of that game so quickly because he couldn't get it together when the pressure was on. So happy to see that for him tonight. Joe Kelly came in, struggled a little bit with his command. He was hitting 96. He might have hit 97. I'm not sure. I didn't actually see him pitch too much. I watched a little bit. I was kind of listening in the background. but he gave up 1 hit in a walk, so not bad for him at all. Glad to see him. He, like I mentioned kind of earlier in spring, his kind of his outings have gotten better each time, so it sounds like his biggest concern, not his, but from Joe and Oral on the broadcast, and you can see it when he pitches, is his command. So if he can get his command under control, he's going to be really dominant. It's also, Dodger Stadium is a pitcher's ballpark, so I think that will help him a bit. I'm excited to see him out there. I actually have his jersey on the way, so I'm really excited. Jansen came in. He struggled. He just didn't look as good up there. He didn't look terrible. It's not like he had some terrible outing, but he looked a little off. He looked like he couldn't really hit the zone much, and when he was hitting the zone, it just seemed like the balls weren't where they should be. Gave up a double. He did hit 93 a couple times while he was out there. He did hit it, his first batter, he actually went 91, 92, 93, then back down to 92. So I thought maybe he'd keep ramping it up and get it back up there maybe around 94, but it looked like he topped out at about 93. He did take a line drive off of his leg. It looked like, though he just got out of the way in time, that it might have just been muscle versus, him actually getting hit. It almost looked like he got hit in the knee, but it looks like he might have moved where it could have maybe just like skimmed off the tendon back there or the calf. I don't know, but he waved off the trainer, didn't even allow him to come out, and continued to pitch. After the infield single off of his leg, he actually did, though, get a strikeout, then walked a guy to load the bases, but then got another strikeout. And then they pulled him, brought someone else in, some guy from AA, Lane Thompson, and he unfortunately kind of let them clear the bases on him. So all those will go down on Jansen, but he didn't look terrible. I think if he's in there to clear it up, it definitely doesn't go down the way it did. But that was really it on the pitching side of things. Wasn't a bad day. Just seemed like a couple kind of bad things all coming together at once, and just a little bit more work on command is kind of what it seems like. Offense, though, on the other hand, was not the greatest of days. To start the game, I think the pitcher had like 6 straight strikeouts were the only outs he had. I think he had 9 outs by the time he left in the 4th, or 9 strikeouts by the time he left in the 4th inning. So it wasn't the greatest of day. Let's see, Jock, Turner, Seager, Muncy, Pollock, Bellinger, Kike, and Verdugo. So Martin was the only one in the starting lineup who didn't strike out tonight against that pitcher. Because to start the game, you had 2 straight strikeouts, and then, yeah, to end it, yeah, Pollock struck out twice. Kike struck out 3 times in the game, actually, so rough game for him. But a couple of the guys had really good games. My big thing here is Max Muncy. He came out and had an RBI double in the 1st inning. After Seager singled in front of him. And then he had a double again in his 2nd at bat. So he did strike out, but he only struck out once, and he had 2 doubles. So I'm really hoping he found his swing, maybe being at a big league field under the lights, kind of somewhere where he's a little bit more familiar, not that Angel Stadium, but that kind of big league atmosphere versus a spring training game. The lights are probably better, probably sees the ball a little bit better. So hopefully he's trending up, because we're going to need him. Jock didn't have much of a day. Taylor's didn't have really anything going on. Turner and Seager doing what they do best. They get on base. Both of them went 2 for 3. Turner had a walk, though, and 2 singles, and Seager had 2 Seager went 1 for 2. He had a single and 2 walks. So great day for them. They, to me, are our key pieces to us having a successful season. If they do not get things going, or they have an issue with health or whatever it may be, I think that's going to be our downfall. We saw how that went last year when Turner was out with his broken wrist. So Seager seems to not have missed a step since coming back. He really has only played in 3 or 4 games against big league pitching like this. And he's just right where he left off at the end of 2017. 2018 was not terrible, but not the best year for him at the start. Obviously, he had to end his season. But anyways, rough day for Pollock on the mound. Interesting fact, though, that I did not know, and there's not too much importance of it because it's spring training, but it just goes to show kind of the type of player Pollock is. Joe Davis mentioned on the broadcast that he was top 10 in pretty much every offensive category in Cactus League. So you think about average, on base, OPS, slugging, home runs, because he had 3 or 4 home runs, I think, in spring training. So he's capable of having a really strong season. Again, I think his thing is going to be health. If he can stay healthy, we can expect a good season from him. Bellinger had a nice 2-run single earlier in the game to give the Dodgers, to tie the game. But other than that, he had 2 strikeouts and a flyout. Kike, like I mentioned, really struggled. Martin had a walk, and then Verdugo had a walk, and that was really it. So not the greatest of days for offense. My thing is, I think they're anxious. I think they're excited and ready to go for opening day, so they might be pushing a little too much at the plate, a little excited. They probably just want to get to Thursday. They probably don't really care about these next 2 games, except for the fact that it lets them kind of get comfortable being back in California and whatever the case may be, get comfortable in a big league stadium again. But I think they'll be fine. I'm not concerned with their hitting. Seeing Muncy have those 2 doubles just made me feel good and made me feel like he's going to head back on the right track. I'm not worried about Kike having a 3 strikeout night. It's not a big deal. So, but other than that, that's it for tonight. I want to remind you guys, I will not be doing a game recap for tomorrow because I do have that award show to go do for LA Sports Council, so I will try to vlog that as much as possible. If you can watch the game, I highly suggest you do. Walker Buehler will be on the mound, and then I will be there Tuesday night, so we'll get a regular vlog like always. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. It would mean the world to me. And other than that, I'll catch up with you guys, I guess, tomorrow night. All right, bye guys.